All right, guys, this week we are in London for the UFC Fight Night. We got Evloev taking on Lerone Murphy. Outside of the prelims, the early prelims, this card is pretty stacked. I'm actually excited for this one. A lot of names that I like, and I think this fight night holds a little bit of weight for what's going on in the UFC as far as positions and things like that. People are gonna really look to climb the rankings in this card, and yeah, I'm excited for this fight night. This is actually so far my favorite fight night announced outside of the championship events. Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Before we get into here, make sure you go follow me on Instagram at RHYTHMBETZ. Go ahead, check me out on TikTok. Follow the Discord, and also follow the Juice Reels. If you want to talk any other business inquiries you like the beat you're hearing on this video, go ahead and shoot me an email at rhythmbetsllc@gmail.com. Can't wait to get in this one. All right, let's start this off. In the bantamweight division for the ladies, we got Melissa Mullins taking on Luana Carolina. Melissa Mullins is 33 years old with a 7-2 pro record. She's 2-2 in the UFC. She goes by Melissa No Mess Mullins. She is a grappler with strong wrestling, heavy top control, physical strength, and good clinch control as well. Striking somewhat limited. It could be getting better. She's definitely on the lower volume side most of the time. I'm actually surprised to see she's a 3.71. Yeah, she has kind of that grinding style. A lot of decision wins in her whole career. And she's going to be taking on Tough Test and Luana Carolina, who is 11-5 pro record. She's 32 years old. And she is 6-4 in the UFC, looking a lot better than that 2-2. They call her Luana Dread Carolina, probably due to the dreads that she's wearing. She's a striker, though, with a dynamic kicking game, long range striking, good clinch knees. Obviously has the more UFC experience. She is going to be at the grappling disadvantage here, though, and that's going to be a tough situation for her. She has the striking advantage here. She is dangerous on the feet, but how is she going to look on her back? How is she going to look with someone attached to her leg trying to pull a single or a double leg? I don't know. Just nowadays, I think you're going to have to go with the grappling side of Melissa Mullins. I think that's going to be my pick here. Melissa Mullins by decision. I think the grappling advantage is obvious. She's getting better on the feet. I think that's going to help her out. She's not the younger fighter here. She has the less miles, though, as far as UFC, and a lot more to prove. So, yeah, I think she looks comfortable enough on the feet to be able to throw a weird style towards Luana Carolina and get this job done via decision. Won't spend too much time on this one. Let's move on to the women's strawweight division. We got Chanel Dyer taking on Ravenna Oliveira. Chanel Dyer is making her UFC debut. She's 24 years old, 6-1 pro record. She is a striker with fast hands. Pretty good movement from what I've been seeing. She has some clean teeps to the body, sharp combinations. She's a young prospect coming up out in the regional scene, now entering the UFC. Limited competition from what I've seen she's faced. Not huge power. She looks great, but definitely doesn't get the finish as much as you would think she did seeing her fight. Her grappling defense looks all right, but I'm excited to see how it looks at this UFC level. As you can see, she has a 7.67 significant strikes landed per minute. So look for her to be a volume machine if she comes in with the same confidence versus Ravenna Oliveira. She's 29 years old with a 7-3 pro record. She is 0-2 in the UFC. She's a grappler with strong BJJ, dangerous submissions, good scrambles, aggressive grappler. Striking is still kind of basic. Her takedowns are kind of inconsistent, and she can struggle on the feet, but overall she's a tough fighter. This is a very, very tough one for me. This is a very tough one. We got a girl in the UFC with the experience but losses. And then we got an exciting, dominant striker here taking her on. And I know I just said, always got to go with the grappling side, but I'm going to trust in Chanel Dyer. I'm going to trust her to get this done. I'm going to trust her to be a volume machine, take this fight to decision, avoid getting to the ground as much. I'm going to, hope she has that same confidence coming in. Not a, high confident pick in these early prelims, but yeah, we're going to go with Chanel Dyer by decision. All right, now we're entering the prelims. We got Shem Rock taking our Abdul Karim Al-selwady. Shamrock is 32 years old with 11-2 pro record with 1 draw. UFC record is 0-1. He just lost to Nurmagomedov Aliyev or something like that. Where he was dominated in the beginning parts of the fight, but looked to kind of pick up the pace throughout the fight, and he started to figure some things out. He has some decent wrestling, but he's a high level grappler coming from the Cage Warriors. A local right here. It's gonna have the fan bases behind him. He's gonna have London on his back. Got the whole Mondum on the back. But anyway, he's a physical fighter. Striking still developing. When I watched him in that UFC debut too, he looked a little, hesitant on the striking. He was throwing some leg kicks, but that was about it. He didn't really like to get dirty with it, and that's what cost him heavily. His defense can sometimes be a little bit open as well. His cardio is pretty untested, but I would say at this point, it could look a little bit better, seeming the fact that he did kick things up towards the end of the Elia fight. He can get controlled by a dominant grappler and outbox. So a good amount of holes in his game that I see, hoping that he's currently working on these and looking to get these better, especially taking on Abdul Karim Al-selwady, who is 30 years old with a 15-4 pro record. He has also not gotten a win in the UFC, but he's a well-rounded fighter, experienced regional fighter as well. He has a solid boxing, good durability. He has been chinned in all of his losses, though. All 4 of his losses that he has took, he has been knocked out. In the mat though, he does have some good movement. I really like seeing that. He doesn't have the most finishes. He could be low volume at times, but better overall than Shamrock, as you can see. And he does have some defensive holes as well. He kind of needs the fight to be at a faster, gritty pace. And if it's not there, he makes mistakes. This is another tough one. We're gonna have our faith in the Mondum here. We're gonna put the faith in Shamrock. I think he gets this by decision. I'm gonna have faith that he looked good at the end of those rounds versus Aliyev, and he's figured out some things and figured out what he needs to do in the beginning of this fight. Coming in versus Al-selwady. So we're gonna go Shamrock by decision. This is a good fight. I don't have the odds out for this. I haven't seen him yet. I could see this being pretty close, almost at pick'ems, maybe a slight lean one way, but good fight here. Great matchmaking on this opening prelim fight, and I'm excited for this one. Shamrock by decision. All right, now let's move on into the heavyweight. We got Louis Sutherland taking on Brando Pericic. Louis Sutherland is 32 years old with a 10-4 pro record. He just lost his UFC debut, making him 0-1. He has a big frame, strong knockout power with an aggressive style and finishing mentality. He has good teeps though for a big guy. Been seeing him throw those up top and to the body. His defense is a little questionable at the higher level. And we have some cardio concerns. Just look at him. It's hard not to. Limited grappling, he has a raw technique in there. He looks like he was kind of born to fight, which is a pretty good. And he, in his one loss, I have to say he is a victim to the Volter Walker heel hook. He is one of them. This is an ongoing thing here. Anyone in the way, I feel bad for you. I wouldn't want to be in a heel hook. I'd rather get choked out than get a heel hook. He's going to be taking on Brando Pericic, who is 31 years old with a 5-1 pro record, and he has won his UFC debut. He's a clean kickboxer with physical clinch strength, durable fighter overall. He has a little bit slower pace. I know the significant strikes landed per minute says otherwise, but he likes to kind of dump when he gets his strikes off. He's overall just good kickboxer. He's actually training at City Kickboxing and right there in Australia. He has decent grappling, but the one thing that really stands out for Pericic for me is his diverse arsenal as far as striking for being a heavyweight. And I know Louis Sutherland kind of has one, but Pericic has a big striking advantage here. And I see him winning this also by decision. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Louis Sutherland with, some sort of grappling when it comes to the pure striking. I think he's just going to piece him up and outpoint him here. He could definitely catch him. It's a heavyweight fight. It's very live, but I'm going to go with the wild call and say that this fight ends in decision as well. I like Pericic's chances here. I think, he has a huge, striking advantage. He has a reach advantage here. And it looks like he gets out the more volume per minute. We'll go Brandon Pericic by decision. All right, now we got Montaz Kondratavicius taking on Antonio Trocoli. I had to practice that before coming into this fight. I had to practice that. Antonio Trocoli, 35 years old, with a 12-6 pro record. He is 0-3 in the UFC. I'm not even going to read his nickname because he's 0-3. Why would I do that? He's a grappler with strong BJJ, good submission threats, and a dangerous scrambles. He's a physical fighter. Striking is pretty limited, though. It doesn't really look the best in that department. His takedowns aren't, he's not getting those off a lot either. Kind of needs grappling to be successful and has not been able to get there in the UFC. And that's led with him to have 1.3 significant strikes landed per minute and 0-3 record. In the UFC, he's been getting bodied by everybody. I want to say he's someone who lost to Shara Magomedov, and I don't think Shara Magomedov's that good anymore. I had faith at the beginning, but I've lost it. He's taking on a scary looking guy in Montaz Kondratavicius, who was 26 years old with an 8-1 pro record. This is his UFC debut. He's a striker with heavy hands, aggressive offense, good finishing ability, and he's a hungry prospect. I don't know if I need to dig deep more into his grappling. I know it's what it says right there, but that could be at a very early fight in his career. I had not seen it. Yeah, I don't know a lot about his grappling. He looks like he could not be worried about it. I think this fight just has a new UFC newcomer destroying Trocoli written all over it. We're going to go Montaz Kondratavicius by KO. I think he smothers him. I think his skill set's just outmatched when it comes up to stand-up game. His only hope, Trocoli, is getting this fight to the ground and looking for a submission, but I do not see that happening. Montaz Kondratavicius by KO. Lock it in. I think Trocoli's just the perfect first meal. I really think he is. But let's move on. We got Mario Pinto taking on Felipe Franco. Mario Pinto, 27 years old with 11-0 pro record. He is now 2-0 in the UFC. He's an undefeated prospect with aggressive pressure and strong finishing instincts. He has a UFC debut pressure amongst him still, though. With him being as good as he is and as watched as he is now, his defense is still sort of developing. He looks like a very stiff fighter in there, but I promise you he's a lot more elusive than he looks. And I really do like his significant strike landed output because, like, as you could see, he's accurate and he really times out his shots and picks them very wisely. I just, he looks really good. He looks, I actually picked against him. I had him on like a kind of like a hedging parlay where I was just throwing a couple dogs on there to make some money just in case. And it ended up coming through because I bet against him overall. And I picked against him and his last outing. But he ended up pulling that off. He's going to be taking on Felipe Franco, who's 25 years old with a 10-1 pro record. This is his UFC debut. He is a grappler with strong wrestling and good top pressure and a submission threat as well. He's a durable fighter. His striking looks pretty basic, but limited high-level competition. Fights at a little bit of a slower pace, even slower than Mario Pinto, but he needs takedowns to be successful in the octagon. Last year, he lost by sub in Dana White's Contender Series to Freddy Vital, who ended up losing his UFC debut. Not a good look for me. And I just feel like Mario Pinto has something in him. I want to say Mario Pinto by like KO, but I'm just smelling a submission. I'm smelling a submission. Mario Pinto showing extra levels to the game here than when he showed last time. I don't know. I think he's going to show levels here. I think this is a good fight for him. They're giving this guy a scary debut and a guy that just, won it. Yeah, I don't know why submission. I'll go probably more in depth into that in my betting insight video for this, but I just smell a submission by Mario Pinto. Lock that in as well. All right. Now we're moving on. We got the featherweights. We got Nathaniel Wood taking on Hussein Keita. Ooh, this is a banger right here. Hussein Keita, he's a good fighter in the regional scene. This is UFC debut, but he's a good fighter in the regional scene. All right, Nathaniel Wood, 32 years old with a 22-6 pro record. He is 10-3 in the UFC. Pretty shiny record at this point. He's a technical striker with fast boxing, intense leg kicks, and high output. He has phenomenal footwork in the octagon. Really enjoy seeing that. Sorry about the the 6'5" height. Definitely not the case. Definitely doesn't have 70-inch reach or none of that. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties. But overall, though, he's a very durable guy. I don't know if has he ever been finished in the UFC? Doesn't get a lot of finishes either, but overall, his fight IQ is very high, above a lot in the featherweight division. Very heavily battle-tested fighter. He's gone through it. Just had a very good win versus Jose Delgado, who was able to put the brakes on him in that first round, drop him, had him hurt, and he just, weathered the storm, came back and pulled off the win. Got to give him that. That looks really good. He's going to be taking on Losen Keita, who's 27 years old with a 16-1 pro record. This is his UFC debut. He goes by the Black Panther. He is a power striker with explosive power, aggressive pressure, and dangerous combinations. He has that finishing mentality as well. Defense sometimes open. Cardio is untested, obviously, in the big game, UFC. He's a big prospect, though. Very calculated, patient fire. He has, like, mid-ish defensive grappling, but he has strength and reaction speed, and that kind of, and the balance helps him a lot when it comes to getting shot on. Yeah, this is a great fight. He's tried to use his offensive grappling, and he just kind of doesn't use any form, just pure strength here. It's a tough one, but it's hard to go against Nathaniel Wood in a fight like this with a younger guy where his IQ is going to be above, and as far as that octagon, he's close to home. Judges are probably going to be favoring him. Nathaniel Wood has a decision written all over him in this one. I think he has the grappling advantage. It's hard to say the striking because technicality, I would definitely say Nathaniel Wood easily has the striking advantage, but Keita, he has big power. I think Wood's just the more diverse striker here. I think Wood gets control time in this. I think he gets the better, more accurate strike. I think he wins the decision. Lock that in, Nathaniel Wood. By decision, all right, let's move on. Let's go. We got Mason Jones taking on Axel Sola. Now, Mason Jones, 3-2. Don't look at that too crazy, all right? He's 30 years old with a 17-2 pro record, 3-2 in the UFC. He's a pressure fighter with a high pace. He's very durable. Good boxing combinations. He's pretty well-rounded. He could take this fight anywhere. Takes a lot of damage, though, sometimes. Defense is a little sloppy, but he needs volume to win these fights, and he pumps it out. He's very gritty. He has decent grappling, though. He'll take advantage of grappling holds if you don't have them. So you gotta watch out for that. He's gonna be taking on Axel Sola, 28 years old with 11-0 with 1 draw pro record. He is 1-0 in the UFC, just won his UFC debut. He's a grappler with strong wrestling and good submission threat. Physical style, striking still developing, though. I want to say he had a finish in his first fight. He's had long fights before the UFC, though, so I don't think that's going to be a big issue, but I think his wrestling is where he has the advantage here, and I think Mason Jones has a good enough wrestling defense and great enough striking offense to pull this off. I'm calling this another decision right here. Mason Jones, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I think it's pretty forward. I'll break this a lot more down in the betting inside video, but yeah, Mason Jones by decision. Pretty confident in that, actually. Pretty confident in that. Mason Jones is a great fighter. Don't look at that 3-2. He's lost to very good fighters, so let's lock that in. All right, we got Curtis Campbell taking on Danny Silva. Excited for this one as well. This is going to be a banger. We got Curtis Campbell, who's 23 years old with an 8-0 pro record. This is his UFC debut. He goes by the Pink Panther. He's a well-rounded prospect, undefeated with good wrestling, solid striking fundamentals, and strong pressure. He has limited experience, though, and his defense is still developing. He has a tough style, has that Paddy Pimblett style to him. Another London fighter. He's good clinch work overall, though. Prefers grappling. That's where he excels. We'll see how that works against Danny Silva, who's 29 years old with a 10-2 pro record. He's 2-1 in the UFC. Calls him El Puma. This makes that matchup even, better. He's a striker with sharp boxing, accurate combinations, and good counters. He has finishing ability as well. Grappling is still improving, though. He can be pressured sometimes, low volume, but he's a solid prospect overall. Does well inside the pocket. He can grapple, but won't control a lot. Definitely has some heart, though. And this is a tough one. This is a very, very tough one. I think Curtis Campbell is going to take advantage of the grappling of Danny Silva. I think he pulls this off. He's just the younger guy. When you look at it, it's hard to pick against Danny Silva, but I just see Curtis Campbell being able to out-grapple him, and really get the control there and limit Danny Silva's striking. Yeah, that's where the gap is. I don't think he's bad on the feet. I don't think he's that bad. So we're going to go Curtis Campbell by decision here. Low confidence. I might stay away from a money line on this. I like this fight to go over. I see them displaying a full display of mixed martial arts in this fight. I think this goes everywhere. Let's move on. We got Roman Dolidze taking on Christian Leroy Duncan. Roman Doldize is 37 years old with a 15-4 pro record, 9-4 in the UFC. He has been fighting some good people as of lately. He's a powerful grappler with strong ground and pound, physical strength, and veteran experience. His striking defense is a little questionable, and he can slow down pretty late in fights. His cardio is a little inconsistent, but he has dangerous submissions. His decent jab he has a decent jab, but it seems to expose himself every here and there to big shots. He kind of camps in the pocket as well when he does close the distance. Those are kind of his flaws there. He has a decent striking arsenal. He gets some good fence control as well. I just don't know if that's enough for Christian Leroy Duncan, who is 30 years old with a 13-2 pro record. He is 6-2 in the UFC. He is a kickboxer with explosive striking, long reach, and dynamic kicks. Athletic movement in the octagon. Grappling defense has been tested though. It's been tested. It's sort of there. Probably a lot of work to do, but I don't know if Roman Doldize is a good enough wrestler to be able to make CLD uncomfortable here. His cardio dips late as well in fights, so who knows? This might be either a sloppy third round or a quick finish. I don't know which way this is going to go, but overall, he has speed, good speed for a middleweight. Helps with evading that speed, and he's shown all right grappling defense versus RoboCop, which that's what kind of gives me the idea that this is not a big threat for him as far as the Doldize side. And Leroy Duncan looks to be getting better. I think he gets the job done. I think he finishes Roman Doldize here. I had him winning by decision, but I think he gets a finish here. CLD by KO. He's the younger, faster fighter, shown improving in the grappling and stand-up. Big momentum coming into this fight. He had a very competitive fight with RoboCop as well, so I think he has a KO written all over him. He gets this job done. Roman Doldize is going out. Lock it in, CLD by KO. All right, we got Iwo Baraniewski taking on Austin Lane. Iwo Baraniewski is 27 years old with a 7-0 pro record. He is now 1-0 in the UFC. Goes by Rudy. He is a power striker, undefeated fighter with knockout power and aggressive pressure, with looking to get that finishing ability in there. His grappling is sort of there, what I've seen in the regional scene. Defense is still developing. He's dangerous in the early rounds, but I'll tell you one thing. He had one of the most exciting fights you'll ever see versus Ibo Aslan. It was a banger. They dropped each other a few times. Iwo Baraniewski showed that he can get hit. He showed that he can take a beating and weather the storm and get the finish here. He's going to be taking on Austin Lane, who is 38 years old with a 13-7 pro record. He's 1-4 in the UFC and won no contest. He's a power striker with huge size, big power, athletic background, dangerous in the early rounds. Cardio is kind of questionable. Defense is really inconsistent. He has chin concerns. He has that kind of kill or be killed mentality, and he's going to get killed in this. Iwo Baraniewski by KO. His chin looks a lot better. Was able to take licks from Ibo Aslan and survive. And he likes to make this gritty, and I think Austin Lane does too. And I think that's where he has the chance here, is making this dirty and gritty. And he doesn't want to do that with Iwo Baraniewski. I think he's a little bit slightly more technical as well. So Iwo Baraniewski by knockout. All right. Whew, we got a banger right here. Michael Venom Page taking on Sam Patterson, MVP, 38 years old with a 24-3 pro record. He's 3-1 in the UFC. He's a karate-style striker with elite distance control, unorthodox striking, fast counters, and knockout potential. He has low output sometimes, but his wrestling defense has been tested. He's an aging fighter, but young in the UFC. He's a dangerous sniper out there. His style is challenging for an opponent, and he does play mind games in there. He had a very competitive fight with Ian Gary, which he ended up losing due to the wrestling, actually, of Ian Gary. Or grappling, I should say. He doesn't look bad with it. He showed it against Carlos Prates as well, so I don't want to say that, you know, his defense is sort of valid. Sort of. Anyway, he's taking on Sam Patterson, who's 29 years old with a 14-2 and 1 pro record. I don't really like this matchup. Don't like this matchup. Anyway, he's 4-1 as well. He's a grappler with good submissions and a long frame. His strong clinch game with good clinch grappling as well. He has an improving striking. Defense sometimes open. His chin has been tested before. It's still developing though, his game. He's a dangerous grappler. Good striking off the back foot as well. Decent footwork overall, and he'll let off some good boxing combinations. He's been chinning the UFC in a brutal fashion by now Ashmaz. Other than that though, he's been looking pretty good. I think MVP shows levels here. I think MVP shouldn't even be fighting Sam Patterson That's just my honest opinion. Give him someone, I don't know, give him someone a little higher up. You know, give him, put a little respect on his name. He just, you know, had a good fight with Ian Machado Gary. So I think he gets a KO here. MVP by KO. I think he shows levels. He's faster, stronger guy here. Higher IQ, more physically imposing. I think the style is just going to be a lot for Sam Patterson. So Michael Venom Page, MVP by KO. Now we're getting into the co-main event of the evening. We got Luke Riley taking Michael Aswell Jr. Luke Riley's 26 years old with a 12-0 pro record. He is 1-0 in the UFC. He's a striker, undefeated prospect with sharp boxing and good combinations. Very confident in the cage. It's a big step up in competition though for him, I think, versus Michael Aswell Jr. His grappling's still improving. He also has that limited UFC experience, but his finishing ability outside of it looks like it could carry over. His grappling defense, he's willing to sit and trade, and has been through some adversity in Cage Warriors, especially versus Alexander Loof. It was a tough fight that he ended up having to pull out to get that job done. Overall, though, one thing I really like is he's good at cutting off the angles in that octagon and really deploying that striking. He's going to be taking on Michael Aswell Jr., who's 25 years old with 11-3 pro record. He is 1-1 in the UFC, goes by the Texas Kid. He's a grappler with strong wrestling, physical clinch game, good top pressure, and a scrappy style, though, when it comes to the boxing. As you can see, he has a high significant strikes landed per minute rate with decent accuracy. His striking is still getting better, though, in the UFC, and this is going to be a tough one. He's a tough competitor in here. He looks good in the inside boxing. He's a sneaky distance closer. I've noticed, with his footwork, he doesn't just kind of barge in. He kind of slithers his way into distance and then looks to surprise you. Kind of creeps up, and I think that could be a problem for Luke Riley in some ways. I think he overcomes it, but this is a banger. I'm really on the fence with this fight. Michael Aswell's chin also was tested versus Baraniewski. He was getting cracked by him and still stood there. This is a tough fight here. This is a tough fight here. I think Michael Aswell is just a little too not as technical. He's a little too scrappy for this bout. I think Luke Riley shows the technicality here, and I think he wins this by split decision. I think the judges are going to help a lot on this. I think he just gets the more accurate strikes out there. They might be getting the same volume in this fight. I don't look at that two and a half strikes per minute and go, oh, he's not going to. If he does do that, he's getting knocked out. He's going to get finished here. I think he is down to trade, and he's down to get this scrappy with Michael Aswell. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be a banger. Someone might go to sleep here. I don't know. This is going to be a good fight, though. Very excited for this one. Before we move on, though, if you haven't already, go drop a comment of your picks that you have. Like and subscribe. Share the video as well. Send it to someone who likes sports betting, who likes the UFC. Fact check me here, or get someone to, forget the one miscue that I had. But other than that, yeah, make sure you go like and subscribe, share the channel. Before we get into this last fight, I'm very excited. Movsar Evloev, Lerone Murphy in London. What a banger. We got Movsar Evloev, 32 years old with a 19-0 pro record. He is 9-0 in the UFC, winning every single one by decision. He's a wrestler with elite grappling, relentless pressure, and a high fight IQ. Not a big finisher at all when it comes to being in the octagon. He has that kind of Khabib style striking as well. Excellent cardio though. He's high level and everything else when it comes to being on the ground. And he shows level versus very good fighters like Diego Lopez, Aljamain Sterling, where they showed their skill set on him and he looked to overcome those skill sets and still pull off the win. He's explosive and excels, though, in all areas. He can randomly hit you with a good combination and catch you. He can do it, but his biggest threat is definitely on the ground. He's taking on Lerone Murphy, 34 years old with a 17-0 and 1 pro record. He is 9-0 in the UFC. He is Lerone the Miracle Murphy. He's a technical striker with sharp boxing, accurate combinations, and good takedown defense as well. He's a very composed fighter in the octagon, and kind of low volume sometimes as well, but overall gets decent out. He's a tough wrestling matchup, though. He can give wrestlers a hard time. He's a patient counter striker, has sub looks, but never kind of finishes the sub, but he'll threaten you and make you rethink being on the ground with him. His footwork kind of keeps him in the game, though, and it's pretty unmatched. It helps him avoid getting these takedowns, getting took down and stuff. And the fight versus Makwan Amirkhani, he showed all right grappling defense. I thought that he was going to be able to control him a lot more. He showed that he's able to get up from the ground, recognize takedown patterns, and he ended up getting the finish with a knee. When Murakami went to take him down, he ended up throwing a knee and knocking him out. So that looks really good to have that under your belt. Going up against a guy like Movsar Evloev, it's really hard to deny how the level of grappling that Movsar Evloev has shown versus other high-level grapplers. We're going to have to go Movsar Evloev by decision. You know, Josh Emmett was able to take down Murphy and get some control time. Evloev's on a whole nother level than any other grappler that Lerone Murphy has fought. This is close. Lerone Murphy is live for a knockout here. He's very live for a knockout. I could see it happening. He has the power. He has the patience. Evloev, though, is just on another level when it comes to that grappling. He has that kind of Khabib style, grinding out. I see him winning another boring decision win. Let's hope he can make this a little bit more exciting and get a finish here. I don't know if he'll ever be getting into title contention. I think if he wins another decision, they won't be able to deny him, but he'll get another, I say give him another fight, maybe the belt, I don't know. But if Murphy gets the knockout, he deserves it. Give him a title fight. Thank you though for tuning in. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Discord. Join the Juice Reels. Send me an email if you want to talk any business inquiries, or if you like the beat that you heard throughout this video. Thanks for watching. Excited to break down this card and watch it. UFC London, RHYTHMBETZ. We out.